Welcome to Cord Cutting This Week, the podcast recorded November 7th, 2019. This is the show where I break down with Jess some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting from the past week and try to answer some of your questions at the end. Now, if you're watching us on replay, make sure to check down the show notes down below. I'll have a link to the MP3 version of this podcast if you want to download it. It's also available on many podcasting apps like the iTunes Apple app or Stitcher and many others. So, Jess, how are you doing today?
I'm good, and I know we say this every week, but man, what a busy day it's been already.
What a busy, rainy, cold day. I don't know what it's like where you are, but we're having...
it's snowing in Cleveland.
Oh, you can keep that. We got rain, and temps is going to plunge down to the 40s down in Texas, so I can only imagine up in Ohio. So, I have to ask, what stories have jumped out at you this week?
Okay, I have to be honest. The only thing I've been concerned about all week is all of the holiday programming that's coming out. So the Food Network has some really cool stuff. Hallmark movies have started. Lifetime has started. I love it. Super excited. The snow has me in the Christmas spirit already.
Yeah, it's definitely holiday season, and it's always that fun time of the year where it's like, do we start celebrating Christmas or not? So where do you fall? Are you in the pre-Thanksgiving Christmas celebration, or are you going to wait until after Thanksgiving for Christmas celebrations?
I will fully embrace Thanksgiving. I really do love Thanksgiving. The Food Network actually has a ton of really good Thanksgiving content coming up soon. But I have to admit, I have a Christmas tree. It is sitting right beside me in the box, ready to go up. And now that it's snowing, I kind of feel like the universe is giving me permission to put my Christmas tree up. I don't know. I'm excited.
I'm kind of excited for Christmas early this year. I'm kind of ready. I won't lie. Let's do this. So I'm with you. Let's go. But let's go into some of the stories. But real quick, a bunch of Black Friday deals have already been announced. Best Buy announced today. We have Target deals, Amazon.com deals. But there's also a special deal for Veterans Day from Amazon. If you're an active duty military or a veteran, you can get 40% off your Amazon Prime membership. This discount will stack on top of a current subscription. So if you've already prepaid for a year, at the end of that year, you can just add on to it for 40% off with this deal. So check it out. Highly recommend if you're active duty or a veteran, you can check it out. I'm assuming active duty also includes the reserves and the guard. Often people will say active duty, and what they really mean anybody in reserve, guard, or active with that. So check that out. We have a link to it in the show notes down below already on this YouTube video if you're watching it. Or if you're listening to us on a podcast, check out the post over at CoreCarsNews.com for links to all these stories. So should we get into this, Jess? Should we get started with some stories?
Absolutely. There's a lot to cover.
Well, let's start off with Sling added 214,000 subscribers. And for the first time, Sling TV's growth, at least the first time we know about, Sling TV's growth outpaced the losses Dish has experienced. Now, Dish didn't always separate the Sling TV and the Dish subscriber numbers, but from my knowledge, this is the very first time this has happened, where a live TV streaming service has offset the losses for Dish. Now, Dish did say, hey, these are less profitable customers, but we gained 148,000 subscribers compared to losing over 341,000 subscribers over the same period in 2018. That's huge, especially when you consider AT&T, Comcast, Spectrum, Verizon, and more all lost subscribers. So that's a pretty good move there. So Jess, does the fact that Sling TV had such a good quarter surprise you, or do you think it should have been better?
No, it doesn't surprise me at all. Sling is such a great service, and I feel like they're constantly adding features, adding content, and doing more to keep their subscribers happy and to bring in new subscribers. I think that some of those people who have left AT&T TV Now with the price hike have gone over to Sling. I know some of the PlayStation Vue subscribers have gone over to Sling. I've seen some talk on the cord cutting tech support page about people just really looking into Sling as a great option. So I'm not surprised to see the numbers going up. And I really think that this company is just so lucky to have Sling as part of their lineup of services, because Sling is awesome, and now we can finally see it in numbers.
Yeah, I really hope Sling TV continues to grow and continues to develop here. What I thought was interesting is these numbers include people who canceled because they dropped the Fox Regional Sports Networks, which happened over this period. Of course, HBO is no longer on it. And Dish did say, hey, not having those, at least under the terms that these companies were trying to get Dish to agree to, has helped us keep the costs low. You can say, yeah, you can go to AT&T TV now for this, but you're paying way more. You could go to another service, but you're going to pay way more than you will with Sling because they have it. So if you don't care about HBO and you don't care about Fox Regional Sports Networks, and according to Dish, the vast majority of their viewers don't watch it, that in the end, this was a good move for them. And when you see them adding subscribers when most companies are losing them, it's kind of hard to argue with that. Maybe for you could make an argument that doesn't work for me because I really want that. But for people who don't care, this seems to be a good move on Dish's part.
Yeah, definitely. I think that there was a definite market for people who just don't really care about sports or don't need some of this premium stuff. And Sling has done a really good job of catering to that market and then just kind of staying there, not trying to add too much to the point where prices go up.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But I'll be honest, I was surprised to see Dish add subscribers. I was expecting Dish to lose subscribers like they had been. Now, I may have thought they may not have lost as many, but I am shocked. Sling TV's growth had significantly slowed earlier this year. Now we're seeing growth speed up, significantly speed up recently. So it's a good move, I think, for Dish. I think everything is working out well for them. Question is, will this trend continue?
Yeah, definitely. And as new streaming services come out and a couple shut down, it'll be interesting to see just kind of where people end up.
Well, we'll keep a close eye on this. A quick few other numbers for everybody. Net income attributed to Dish Network totaled $353 million in the third quarter compared to a net income of $434 million from the year ago, for the quarter ago, I believe, if that's correct. So pretty nice jump there in net income for Dish. And I'm going to keep a close eye on this. But Discovery had very high praises for Dish today during their earnings call. They singled them out and basically kind of said, hey, Dish is doing something right. Maybe the competitors out there should look at what Dish is up to. All right, well, let's move along because the FCC is up to something. Jess, what's the FCC doing?
The FCC is always up to something. So they have officially approved the Sprint and T-Mobile merger that we've been hearing about for months now. The FCC believes that approving this merger would help to close the digital divide, and it would also help to promote 5G being available throughout the country. So Sprint and T-Mobile have committed to actually covering 97% of American households with 5G within just the first 3 years, and 99% within the first 6 years of this being available. And so the FCC has officially approved the merger. I know there was some question. A lot of our readers and listeners thought that maybe this would not be approved. But just to note that just because the FCC and also the Department of Justice have approved this merger, it doesn't mean that it's a done deal. So multiple states and also Washington, D.C. have a lawsuit attempting to block this merger. They believe that it'll cause less competition in the market, which will in turn cause higher prices for customers. So this isn't a done deal. There's still a lawsuit out there. There's still a court hearing that has to go through. But it's looking like they are one step closer to this T-Mobile and Sprint merger becoming a reality.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. A lot of attempts here to kind of persuade the public today as T-Mobile kind of came out and said, hey, we're going to offer free internet to 10 million low-income households. We're going to cut the cost of our low-end wireless plan down to $15 a month. That plan will come with unlimited talk and text, 2 gigabytes of data, but they'll add half a gig of data a month to your plan for 5 years. So after the second month, you have 3 gigabytes, and the data will continue to grow. Assuming that's probably T-Mobile's efforts to address the growth of their network as they merge in Sprint. Now, these things will need to happen once Sprint merges with T-Mobile. If it doesn't happen, it's kind of like these may not happen from them. But T-Mobile also says 5G is coming next month in December. So I'm very interested to see if this goes through. I'll be very surprised, to be honest with you, after seeing the AT&T Time Warner merger. If that's approved, but the Sprint T-Mobile merger is not, that's kind of an interesting move there. I'll be very shocked to see that happen. But
Yeah, so
yeah,
this court hearing is coming up soon, so we'll just kind of keep an eye on that and pay attention to what they say there.
but a lot of this also hinges on Dish becoming the fourth largest provider of wireless phone service. They will be offering Boost Mobile sold over to Dish. Dish will get access to T-Mobile's network, which will help Dish as they continue to build out their own spectrum that they do own. Dish is rapidly now trying to build that out. Both Dish and T-Mobile sounded very positive that they would successfully address the concerns of the different states, that they would win this lawsuit. We will see what happens here. Jess, personally for you, would you like to see Sprint and T-Mobile merge, or would you rather not?
I have mixed feelings about this. My thought is that if this is an opportunity to bring better internet service to a very large portion of the United States, I'm all for it. So I've said this before, a lot of my family lives out in the country. There are not great options for internet service where they are. My aunt and uncle were on dial-up until like 2 years ago. So if there's an opportunity to just bring good, reliable internet service to areas like that out in like farm country where people just don't really have a lot of options, I would support it.
Well, hopefully they continue to find ways to, make these services better and make these deals stand out there. So any final notes you want to add here, Jess?
I don't think so. I think I've said everything I need to say about this merger, and we will just keep an eye on it. Nothing is a done deal until it's all finally approved, so we will see.
Yeah, if you're watching us on YouTube, leave us a comment. Would you like to see the Sprint and T-Mobile merger go through? Would you like to see it blocked? And if so, why on both sides? Why would you like that to happen? I'd love to hear from you. So, Jess, Fubo TV is a great service, but no ESPN. You got any update on what's happening over there?
Yeah, so we actually don't talk about Fubo TV as much as we probably should. It really is a great streaming service. And the thing about Fubo TV is that it's kind of known for being the go-to for sports fans. So ESPN is noticeably missing from the lineup. Now, Fubo TV does have things including CBS Sports, they have Fox Sports, they have NBA TV, they have the NFL Network, but ESPN missing from the lineup. So a Fubo TV staffer actually took to Reddit to try to explain what's going on here. A lot of people had questions, and he went to Reddit and said, here's what we have to say about it. And what he said was that, first of all, Disney is an investor in Fubo. So Disney is the parent company of ESPN now, and they also invest in Fubo. He said that a member is on their board even. So Disney is all in on Fubo. But he also said that in order to have ESPN on a streaming service, distributors have to have the Disney bundle, is what he called it, which obviously means that Fubo would have a ton of extra channels, not just ESPN, but all of the Disney channels, which would make subscription costs much more expensive. Obviously, Disney is a very expensive bundle to have on your streaming service. So he said that cost is really prohibiting them right now from making that deal and making ESPN available to subscribers. And we see this all the time. We always see companies saying that they can't afford to have one channel because it means having, 17 channels. You can't just have one, you have to have them all. So Fubo is trying to make the responsible decision here for their subscribers. They don't want to raise prices. So for now, no ESPN.
Yeah, this has always been the tough thing. It's not just Fubo TV that faces this. You see this in a lot of different services. It's probably why Sling TV has the orange and blue plan, because you got Disney on one side and a lot of stuff on the other side. Disney or Sling TV's argument is, hey, you can get our orange or blue plan, and then you can add packages on top of it, so you can build the service you want. When we start at $25, they say, our competitors start at over $40. You could add in quite a few of our add-ons and still be cheaper than our competitors. But according to this post, Disney would add about $16 to the price of Fubo TV if they wanted, or at least the cost per subscriber for Fubo TV if they wanted to add ESPN. That would probably force Fubo TV to increase the price of their service. Something I don't think a lot of people want. Fubo TV is independent. They can't bundle like Dish does. Say, hey, if you want to be on Dish, you have to be on Sling. Or AT&T, if you want to be on DirecTV, you have to be on AT&T TV, for example. So that definitely puts Fubo maybe at a little bit of a more disadvantage when negotiating. I don't think there's another way to say it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. It's always one of those tough things. A lot of people care about ESPN. A lot of people don't care about ESPN. And for now, Fubo seems to have found a following for people who are fine without Disney channels.
Yeah, and he did also make a comment on that Reddit thread that just said, don't count it out in the future. It could happen eventually, but just for right now, it's not really on the table.
Yeah, I'm sure if Fubo got the right deal, they would happily jump on ESPN in a heartbeat. But they need the right deal. So, quick predictions, Jess. Over, under, would you predict ESPN on Fubo anytime soon?
I would not. I think that price is really going to be the main factor here, especially with so much competition. The last thing that Fubo wants is to have higher prices and price themselves out of the market. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, but it definitely really could happen. And I'm not going to count it out. All right, so, Jess, when's PBS coming to YouTube TV? Can you tell me?
That is a great question.
Yeah, well, it looks like it may be delayed for a little while longer. So earlier, a bunch of PBS stations had confirmed to Corker's News that PBS would be going live on YouTube TV on the 4th of November. Now, we said at the time, like, hey, YouTube TV has the final say on this. This could be delayed, but the 4th of November is the targeted date. Late last week, the Twin Cities PBS made a tweet that they later deleted after we reported on it. That said that PBS and YouTube TV have jointly decided to delay the launch for a few more weeks with a target prior to 2020. Everyone wants the best experience for viewers. Therefore, some final testing is still being rolled out. Now, does this mean delayed until Thanksgiving? Delayed until Christmas? New Year's? We don't know. It's all one of those great questions. What does a few more weeks mean, Jess? What does that mean? Can you tell me?
In this industry, it is so hard to say. I think we hear a few weeks in emails, we hear it in videos, we see it in tweets. You can never fully know what someone means by saying a few weeks. But I think that this was a smart move for them. If there are any issues or any kinks that need to be worked out, I think it's very smart to just put it off for a minute so they don't have to field all of those customer questions and complaints later.
Yeah, I wonder how much of this is testing to get all the channels properly set up, or how much of this has to do with trying to get as many channels live when it launches as possible. Remember, many PBS stations are surprisingly small. They're run by colleges, they're run by different organizations, which means they're not necessarily fully staffed 24/7 like you would find with an ABC, NBC station. So getting some of this hardware installed, which reportedly may be leased from YouTube TV, to stream their content up to YouTube TV, could definitely severely delay the launch of YouTube TV to try to make sure they're all live. But we're going to be watching this very closely. YouTube TV and PBS have recently kind of gone mum on this a little bit, and I think PBS has been calling their local stations saying delete any post about this. Probably because they don't want a bunch of people saying, well, you said on this day at that time it will go live. So I think they're trying to avoid that by getting their PBS stations to not say anything more about the launch at this time.
Yeah, I think that's also a very smart move, but we will report on it the minute that we find out that PBS is hitting YouTube TV.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a tip, if you find a tweet like this, or if you notice PBS is live on YouTube TV, go to corkcarsnews.com at the very top, click that Contact Us button, send us an email. We definitely would appreciate the tip.
Definitely.
Wow. Any other things to add on PBS?
No, I am excited for them to bring it to YouTube TV, though. I hope they also bring it to Hulu. Do you have any update on whether it'll be available on other services?
PBS has stated previously, before the YouTube TV deal, is that they would like as many services as possible. And when it was added, I'm pretty sure PBS said something along the lines of YouTube TV will be the first or something like that, which kind of leads you to believe that this isn't like an exclusivity deal or like, oh, we're on YouTube TV and this is done. It's more of a, hey, we're going on YouTube TV first and then we'll come to others later. Now, PBS had said that the issue was most streaming services only wanted a national feed. They didn't want to take the local feeds. YouTube TV has a kind of a 3-tiered plan here, where YouTube TV would accept a national feed if the local wants it, a mixture of national and local, or an all-local feed, depending on what the local TV stations do. So we'll have to keep a close eye on this story, and if other services, Hulu, Sling TV, Fubo TV, AT&T TV now, etc., Philo maybe even, won't count it out, adds them, we'll definitely let you know.
Sounds good.
All right, so Showtime has a kind of a strange plan according to Reuters. Jess, what's Showtime up to?
Showtime is really kind of causing some competition for cable, and if I were working for a cable network, I'd be looking out for this. Showtime wants to start bundling streaming services to replace cable. And Showtime has been in talks reportedly with Amazon and Apple and Roku, all marketplaces that offer many different streaming services. Streaming services. So, sorry, my brain just shut off for a second while I was right in the middle of that sentence.
Happens to me all the time.
It's been a long morning, you guys. So anyway, Showtime has been talking to Amazon, Apple, and Roku about the idea of creating bundles of several streaming services and offering them for a discount. Now, this makes sense for a network like Showtime that's usually offered as like an add-on service. The question is, would this make sense, or what would be the incentive for a streaming service like Hulu? Would it make sense for them to say, yes, we'll be bundled with 2 other streaming services, we'll offer a discount as a more competitive alternative to cable? So what do you think about that, Luke? Do you think that a streaming service like Hulu would join in on a bundle like this?
I think the ultimate problem here you would have is a bundle means a discount, right? If people are going to bundle Showtime with another service, they're going to want a discount. Why would Hulu, HBO, Epix, or really any of these companies do that to offer a discount? Now, a lot of the other smaller streaming services that may not be dedicated cable companies may be much more willing to do that. But it's definitely a tough sell there. I'm kind of surprised Showtime's doing this. Showtime's owned by CBS. While CBS has not been anti-cord cutting recently, they've definitely opened up to cord cutting. This idea of a bundle with the goal of replacing cable, according to the Reuters report, is a rather aggressive move that I'm sure will upset many CBS partners. So I'm kind of shocked a little bit by this move that they're even doing it, to be honest with you. What do you think, Jess?
Yeah, I'm interested what the communication was like whenever these talks all first started. It sounds like Showtime has already been having these conversations and trying to make moves to make this happen. So there was some talk about, for example, it would be like a CBS All Access plus Showtime for a discounted price. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm very interested to see what this might look like. There's been a lot of talk on Twitter, especially, about what this could mean for cable and whether cable should be nervous about these potential bundles, which would really offer so many more channels plus premium content for a discounted price, making it much more competitive.
I could definitely, CBS All Access and Showtime are both owned by CBS.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of surprised there isn't a bundle deal there. Hey, add Showtime to CBS All Access for a slight discount. Let's say we knock $1 or $2 off of it,
Mm-hmm.
Because then CBS doesn't have to pay the middleman, and they're getting both your CBS All Access payment and your Showtime payment. Maybe it'll attract people who don't subscribe. So I could definitely see that happening. We'll keep a close eye on this. Anything else we should add into this, Jess?
No, I'm just very interested to see how this works, and I think their biggest obstacle will be getting everybody on board. So I'm very interested to see who joins in on this idea.
Yeah, if it's to be successful, they need to partner with services people want, right?
Yes.
They need to get more than some of the basic services out there that no one's heard of. There's a lot of great streaming services that are very niche streaming services. If you really want to be successful, they're going to have to reach out to a bigger audience there.
Absolutely.
All right, Jess. So good news, Disney Plus is launching next week. Bad news, Disney has started to remove on-demand content from pay TV providers, including cable, satellite, and even services like YouTube TV. This means if you log into your Disney app to watch Disney Junior or Disney content, you're going to find a lot of the back catalog services are gone. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and more have all suddenly vanished, and Disney did warn that they would be moving content over to Disney Plus, the back catalog. Now, it's not completely barren over there over at these services, but it's definitely hugely reduced. Many of the back catalog of Disney content is just gone. So kind of a stake in the eye of cable there. Hey, we're launching a streaming service, and we're going to make your cable subscription have less content. In the past, you had cable, and it was like, hey, I get cable, I get all these back episodes of Disney content here and more. Now Disney's kind of like, well, no, not really. If you want those back catalog, you better go get Disney Plus, even if you are a Comcast Spectrum Dish customer and more. So definitely a lot of upset people. Jess, what do you think? Is this a good move for Disney, or are they being short-sighted here?
I'm not surprised that they're doing this. I think they kind of warned us that something like this would happen. I think people are more upset about this week-long gap between now and when Disney Plus launches. Somebody on Reddit actually made a comment saying, my 2-year-old is just up in arms. She's so upset about this. She wants her Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and she wants it now. I'm not surprised to see this happening at all. I think it makes a lot of sense so that whenever Disney Plus launches, everything will be good to go. It's just this 1 week gap that's going to make it a little tough for parents, I think, more than anybody.
And being a parent, that is a very important thing.
Absolutely.
But I want to check here. I'm going to go look at this. I wanted to remember, because Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is still on Hulu, though. Now,
okay.
And it's all 11 seasons from the looks of it. Nope, it's 4 seasons now. Yep, so it's not all seasons. It's 1 through 4, which is still a pretty good holdover there. I wonder how long that's going to be there. How much of this Hulu content that's Disney is going to leave Hulu, move over to Disney Plus in the weeks to come.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see up until the launch and then within just a couple of weeks after the launch how they shuffle around content.
I may take this back. I wonder if that has to do with the fact that I am a Hulu Live customer. Mm-hmm. Are you a Hulu On Demand customer?
I'm Hulu Live also.
You're Hulu
and
Live.
I know that we get more on-demand content than ad-supported or the basic Hulu package.
So I may want to walk that back there. I'll try to find out maybe after the podcast if we can look into that.
But if anyone else wants to check, leave us a comment. We'll check.
Leave us a comment. If you're listening to this and you are a Hulu On Demand, let us know how much Disney Channel content like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is there. I do know there is some Disney Channel content on Hulu's On Demand service, and I still am interested to see how far that gets, or how much of that gets moved away soon. But hey, we are just a few days away. On Tuesday, Court Cars News will have wall-to-wall coverage of everything you need to know about the Disney Plus launch. So make sure to keep an eye on that over at courtcarsnews.com. And of course, we'll be back here on YouTube talking about the day of and with the podcast next Thursday.
Yes.
All right, Jess, any questions for me today?
I do have some questions for you today. So we will start out with the first one, which came from our cord-cutting tech support group on Facebook, and I did let the reader know that I would be asking this question. So the question was for a sports fan. They are thinking about cutting the cord, and they want to know which service is best for overall sports. They're not looking for one thing in particular, not the NBA or NFL, just sports overall.
That's a tough one because there's a lot of great options. YouTube TV has a ton of great content. Sling TV has a ton of great content. PlayStation Vue, of course, did, but they're shutting down in January. Hulu and AT&T TV Now all have a ton of content. The interesting part of it now is which one is the best for you. I don't think you're really going to go wrong. Find the one that offers what you want. There's always slight differences. YouTube TV has the Big Ten network, but Sling TV has the Pac-12 network, but the others does not. So there's always a little bit of back and forth there of like, this one has that, but not this. This one has this, but not that, and more. Unfortunately, I wish I could tell you, like, this is the best service. Everybody should get this. And I really don't think that's true. I don't think there is one service where this is the best option for everybody.
Yeah, and if anyone's curious, you can search for that topic on the tech support Facebook page. I did link the post about how to cut the cord for sports viewers. And also, don't forget about Fubo. Fubo has some great sports options.
Fubo is a great option. And if you have one that you find works for you, you want to recommend, leave us a comment in the chat. We'd love to hear from you.
Definitely. All right, second question. So when Disney Plus does launch in just a few short days, how will I be able to watch? Will it automatically show up on my Roku menu, or what do I need to do?
You will need to go into your preferred device's app store and add it if it's supported. Roku, Apple TV, and more will be supported. No Fire TV support has been announced at this moment. But just like you go to any Roku channel, just go in the Roku channel store, probably search for Disney. It'll probably pop up right there, or Disney Plus, and it will be available. Of course, the day it launches, we will include links to the downloads for places like Roku and Apple TV over at corecarsnews.com. So you can keep an eye out there. Now, the question is, will they pre-launch it? Will they make it available for download a few days beforehand? We'll have to wait and see. Currently, unless you're trying to use a VPN into the Netherlands, you can't install it. It's available in the Netherlands, but they're using lockout on that, so you would need a VPN. And you always run the risk of them saying that's not the real version or causing trouble later. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing that right now.
Definitely. Also, for people who have Verizon Unlimited who are getting their free year of Disney Plus, we'll have a post up, just like we did with Apple TV and a new Apple device. We'll have a post up about how to get your free year with your Verizon Unlimited plan. All right, question number 3. This is my last question for you today. I have an older TV. Will a Fire TV stick or a Roku stick or any other devices work with my older TV?
Yeah, if you have an HDMI port, all those devices will work. If you don't, if you have those old RCA, the red, white, and yellow connectors, the Roku Stick Plus, which is sold on Roku's website, you got to get the one that includes the RCA connectors. It's available on Roku.com. It's a great option I would check out. I wish Amazon had a similar version, but they do have a cheap HD version if your TV is just HD, but it still needs an HDMI port on that. Of course, all versions of the Fire TV or Roku, if your TV is not 4K, will downgrade to SD or HD. But if you need an HDMI port, again, if you don't have it, check out the Roku Express Plus, which is available at Roku.com. Make sure you get the version that comes with the RCA cable.
All right, good advice.
A few more questions there from the thing. PlayStation Vue shutting down in January. Jess, I'm going to put you on the spot. Any recommendations for replacing it? I get this question all the time.
Yeah, there's actually a ton of conversation about this happening on the Cord Cutting Tech Support group page. So if you're looking for suggestions, I would definitely go there and ask people's opinions. Also, just head over to Cord Cutters News and look at our breakdown of which services offer which channels. That's a really good way to compare a lot of streaming services all at once, make a list of the channels that you are prioritizing, and just find the one that's offering what you're looking for. A lot of people are going to YouTube TV, a lot of people are going to Hulu with Live, and like I said earlier, a lot of people are going with Sling and actually saving some money every month.
Well, there you go. Well, let's get into what we watch, and we'll wrap it up for today. I know we got a little bit of a late start. Sorry, the Dish earning call ran a little long today, and Disney has theirs later today too. So make sure to check out corecarsnews.com as we'll be taking a close look at what Disney announces later today. And if you're listening to this on Friday, well, they announced yesterday now. And hopefully maybe we'll learn something about Hulu. We'll let you know what we find. So, Jess, what are you watching this week?
I have kind of a weird recommendation this week. I have been using Apple TV Plus, and I noticed whenever I was scrolling through the channels that they were also offering free preview episodes from premium channels. So I have been watching the first episode of seasons of a bunch of different shows from HBO, Epix, Stars, Showtime, and Cinemax. So I watched the first episode of Succession and actually liked it enough that I restarted my HBO subscription so I could watch the whole season. I also watched the first episode of On Becoming a God in Central Florida, which was really funny. So
Okay.
yeah, I recommend that. You can watch the first episode for free through Apple TV.
Well, I've been heavily working my way through college football and football in general because we're in that happy month of the year where there's football every day of the week pretty much. And I am just absorbing as much of it as I can. So I got a question for everybody out there. What are you watching? Any sports, any movies or television shows you want to recommend? Leave us a comment. Let us know. We'll love to hear from you. Well, that's it for today. Jess, thanks for joining. Hear everything, all your great opinions and everything. Thanks to everybody who's listening. It's great to have you here. Downloads and views are going way up. We really appreciate it. To everybody who's new, welcome. We appreciate your subscription. We'll be back next week, Wednesday, but don't forget to check out youtube.com/CoreCarsNews, where we post videos Monday through Saturday, and every now and then, even on Sunday, all about the world of cord cutting. So I hope you all have a great day. Take care, everybody. We'll talk to you later.